There's a story that's rarely told out loud. It lingers beneath the surface of everyday life, in the ticking of the clock, the swipe of a card, the numbers on a screen. It's the story of money, not as coins or bills, but as belief, control, and quiet arrangements made behind closed doors. Tonight, we reflect not on conspiracy, but on the quiet architecture of a system most take for granted, and what it means for those who still long for freedom. It began in shadows, an island, a train car, and men with names known only to history. They gathered not in malice, but in secrecy, driven by the urgency of control in a world tipping toward financial uncertainty. No headlines marked the moment. No crowd waited at the station. Yet, what emerged would shape the modern era. What they created wasn't just a policy or an institution. It was a vessel, a way to steer the great tides of money and credit without the unpredictable burden of democracy slowing the helm. It was efficient, it was quiet, it was revolutionary. But with that silence came a price, the slow erosion of transparency. The public would know the name, but not the engine. They would see the facade, but not the gears. And that, perhaps, was the point. What is money, really? Not gold, not paper, not even the digits we see glowing on screens. It is belief, coordinated, consistent, and fragile. It is a story we tell ourselves, backed by the force of law and the inertia of habit. Over time, the system grew bolder. Banks learned to lend what they did not truly have, creating wealth not from labor or land, but from obligation. A promise to repay became a product. Debt became currency. And through it all, the system expanded, not with gold bars in vaults, but with the quiet stroke of a pen. It sounds magical, but magic too has consequences. Every boom carries a whisper of bust. Every period of prosperity rests on borrowed time. We are taught that recessions are natural, that inflation is a mystery, that national debt is just a number. But beneath those lessons lies a more complex reality. When money is made from debt, the debt must grow endlessly. And when payments falter, when trust wavers, the answer is not correction, but expansion. More credit, more stimulus, more illusions. It is a cycle, and we inherit it, not just in taxes or prices, but in expectations. We are born into systems we did not choose, yet we're told to trust them blindly, even when they creak. What happens when a system is too complex to question? It becomes sacred, untouchable. Those at the top don't need to explain, and those below don't feel qualified to ask. Behind the public image of regulation lies a private network of influence. Quiet deals, revolving doors, insiders speaking a language most of us never learn. Policy becomes abstraction. Accountability dissolves. And in that vacuum, the greatest cost emerges not in dollars, but in dignity. The sense that we've ceded something fundamental without ever consenting to it. In times of crisis, the machine speeds up. War, disaster, economic collapse. They become catalysts for action. In the name of stability, more money is created, more debt is taken on, more power is centralized. But who benefits when the solution is always more spending, more debt, more control? Throughout history, conflict has coincided with financial expansion, a pattern hard to ignore. The system grows under pressure, while individuals shrink under its weight. And yet, few connect the dots. Few ask why the cure always looks like more of the disease. Every few decades, reform is promised. Oversight, transparency, even audit. But the foundation remains untouched, because changing the rules of the game is never as easy or as profitable as keeping them just as they are. The language shifts, the actors rotate, but the structure endures. because it works for those who understand it. For the rest of us, the changes are cosmetic. A new face, a new slogan, a new assurance that everything is under control. But the outcomes tell another story. And yet, all is not lost. Systems only endure as long as we believe in their permanence. And belief is something we can reclaim. We can learn. We can question. We can remember that sovereignty doesn't begin with governments or institutions. It begins with understanding. When we strip away the noise, the jargon, the intimidation, what remains is choice. And choice, quietly held, is power. The story of money is not just a tale of corruption or secrecy. It's a mirror. It reflects what we've agreed to value, what we've been willing to trade for convenience, and what we still have the chance to rediscover. It is not hopeless. It is not inevitable. But it does require us to stop sleepwalking, to see clearly, to ask gently, and to remember that the systems we live under are made by people, and can be remade by people too. Your attention, your clarity, your quiet courage, these are not small things. They are the first steps towards something better.